everyone to go through with what it is about this business, the wine business, that they love the most and how long they've been in it. So I will say, my name is Nina. I have been in the Boisset business for, gosh, now 4.5 years. And what I love about it the most is that it's flexible and I can make it my own. And so it's just been really fun for me. I'm an artist, I have an artist life, to, move up and down San Francisco and have a wine business, go into lockdown and sell more wine than I've ever sold because of my wine business. So I love that it's something that I've been able to just kind of have throughout the years and grow over the years. And I've been able to make it my own and adapt and still continue to grow this business. So, Sheila, what about you?
For me, it's two things. Boisset has been an opportunity for me to monetize my passion for wine and to fold it in just who I am, because I do lots of things. So it's folded not into one thing, but it's folded into who I am. Because I'm that person at the grocery store that people are like, what should I buy? You look like you know about wine, I'm always getting into conversations about wine. I don't have to instigate. It just comes to me. And I love being able to monetize my passion for wine. And I stay with Boisset because, there's always other companies, there's always other products, but Boisset Collection is a company that for me has a heart. The social impact strategy around Boisset, because I do social impact strategy for businesses, for entrepreneurs, and for films. And the thing about Boisset is, just like when COVID happened, it showed us, Jean-Charles got behind us. Next thing we knew, we had a red blend that was selling, and 100% of those proceeds went to Wine Unify and the African American Vintners Association, for the professional development and encouragement of people of color in the wine industry. I mean, when he's just very receptive and open, flexible to our needs in terms of the business. The company is very agile to make changes and move. And as a lifetime entrepreneur, I'm not adding this to a job. I add this to my work and my life as an entrepreneur. It's very important to be agile and not bureaucratic. So that's the thing that keeps me with Boisset and loving Boisset. And I love Jean-Charles' passion. Anybody who loves wine is like, he might even love wine more than I do. That's like crazy talk.
Yeah.
So that's why
it's been amazing to grow with the company throughout lockdown, and just the way he was able to just pivot and turn, and the ambassadors really, we shine. We always shine, but we throughout lockdown, how exciting was that? Our business was growing tremendously during that. And so Caitlin, our Som.
Hello.
Well, how long have you been an ambassador, and what is it that you love the most about being an ambassador?
So I've not been an ambassador that long. I joined in February. My jumpstart just ended.
Wow.
I was checking them off, doing my thing. Can't believe it's been 90 days already.
Chang.
As someone who has been in all aspects of the wine industry, I've been in it for 8 years. From doing big wine lists for major hotels, which is what, I was doing before COVID, to seeing distribution, to working at smaller wine bars, and now to seeing this aspect of things. Of course, flexibility is wonderful, but I have to say the people in all walks, not only fellow ambassadors who have all these amazing day jobs, but still find time for their wine passion, and getting to just talk about wine with like-minded people. But, it's pushed me to reach out for fundraising, to reach out to people I would have never probably gotten a chance to meet if I, was still at a hotel working 14 hours a day, just waiting for a fine dining restaurant dinner to open and close. Now it's totally broadened my horizons beyond what I thought it would even.
That's amazing.
When I started in February. So I'm very grateful. I met Mashawn, and that ended up working out. She's an amazing mentor. So that's certainly been very helpful as well. So I feel really lucky.
Very
I'm so glad to have met all of you.
It's so fun. I mean, really, like one of the best parts, it's like a silver lining is that we get to meet all kinds of new friends and new people. And so with that, I have to ask Dr. Tora Brown, who's my wine camp bestie.
Yes, wine camp bestie. So of course the people, that's like one thing. Huh? Oh yeah, Dr. Nat's our wine camp chaperone.
Yeah.
But I think our chaperone was easy because
you're in trouble if Dr. Nat is chaperoning.
Best chaperone ever.
Whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
She's chaperoning the wine.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to.
The relationships, the people, the fun. I mean, where else can you get to work and drink wine and have fun and laugh and be around like all these beautiful women and positive energy? And for people who are watching, you're like, oh, they're being nice because they're live, right? No, we're not. Like, we really
we're not nice.
Interact and have fun and laugh.
We love to hang out.
Yeah.
Just like kind of how we are. I mean, this is just a normal Thursday, right? And so I think that's one of the things for me that's really great. I love entertaining, and you entertain, you buy wine, and like, so it's really what I was already doing. I just was doing it with somebody else's wine, right? So now I'm sharing wine, and what I think is so great is, we have sometimes we have over 200 wines in the portfolio, right? I mean, you look at each of our brands, we have 25 wineries to choose from, 25 brands to choose from. And
reputable wineries.
And reputable, right? Like, and great.
That's wine. All I'll say.
Yeah.
Yes.
That to me is
legacy.
No shade.
For real.
That's great. That's what I mean, really, because I know that if I try something that I haven't tried before, I know that it's going to be good, right? Like, and even if it's not like, even if I'm not like, oh, this is my number one favorite wine, it's going to be good wine. I'm not afraid to share wine that I've never tried. Sometimes you go to the market, I used to go to the market or wherever to buy wine, and they would tell you it's good and you buy it, but you're like, I'm not going to try this with friends until I taste it first.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that with Boisset wine.
It's nice to feel really confident in every bottle.
You can open it with friends, even if you've never tasted it. You can open it with friends and not be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I opened that. Let's try to find something else.
That's so true. That's so true. I have not met one person that I've introduced Boisset to. Of course, people are like coming to me and my friends in circle for wine regardless, but genuinely, nobody has been unhappy. Like, everyone who's joined Wine Society, everybody has been like raving about the wines, and
I've ever themselves. We were talking earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, I tried this one wine and I didn't hate it. That's the thing. You learn to understand your palate, right? What you like, what you want to taste. But you can kind of like, the difference between something that's awful and something that's it's not for me, but I didn't hate it.
I'm not embarrassed that I served it. It's not for me.
Exactly.
But someone else.
There you go.
And I'm not embarrassed that I just opened this wine in front of, because I've had that moment. You open wine, you're like, oh, I didn't taste it.
That's the worst.
Sorry. Right.
Yeah.
So that's what's really nice. You don't have to like taste it first.
No, I love that. Thank you.
Although you can taste it first because that's fun, but you don't.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's so true.
It's a sure thing, baby. So Lainey, so you and I met right before the end of the world as we knew it. We met at our retreat. Yeah, and then we went into lockdown. So I feel like you're still fairly new.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, I am. I mean,
what is it that you love about our business?
I have been trying to catch my parents have a cellar, so I've been trying to catch wine since I was little, and so if anything I would drop out and stuff. But but I would say that I really, I mean, I've been in the wine business before Boisset, and then meeting Jean-Charles, we just really mixed, and we had been to the same wineries, and we had the same passion about wine. And I live a clean life as far as like, eating and things like that. So it was a nice balance to also have clean wines that don't have herbicides and pesticides, wines that are biodynamic and organic and sustainable. And, wines that I can bring to clients that already have in the wine business that will say they stopped going to Napa because they would get acid reflux or whatever, and they taste the wines and then they love it. So, that's one of the things that I love about wine. I love to be able to explore, and I'm all about the experience of wines, of being able to enjoy wines and who I think this client will like, what I think this client will like, and then what I think that they would not like, and then what is just sheer enjoyment. Because wine is an experience, whether you like it, you don't, but you can never walk away and say you had a Boisset wine that was boring, because that means that your palate needs to be checked, because that does not exist.
Yeah.
You could walk away and say, oh, well, I need a little bit more complexity, or I want something more bold, or, it's a different discernment that we can make as ambassadors, but you can never walk away and say that you felt dehydrated, bored, or you just didn't get it.
I love it.
And that's what I love about the wine business. And it's always a learning experience. And I love that I am totally, being a millennial, I'm totally into innovation. And John Charles is the king of innovation, I think.
Dr. Lucy Tharin, how long have you been an assistant, and tell me what you love about it?
I think we're coming up on 10 months, and I'm a physician. I run a residency program. like in TV, except I'm cuter.
I love it. Yeah.
What joining the ambassador did was help me. It propelled me to actually follow through on things I wanted to do, like learn about wine. I'm pending my WSET 2 in a couple weeks.
Hell yeah.
And I was actually thinking about applying for the Wine Unify. I just need a letter of rec, so I got to figure that out. So the first step 3. And so I'm like, so it's pushing me to do that. And then, so what am I going to do within the long run? I'm not sure yet, but I don't know if I need to have the answer at this moment in time. So
you don't. Nobody can ever take it away from you once you get it. It doesn't expire. Right. It's an amazing achievement, and it'll open so many doors. You never know in the future when you're going to want to bust that out from your back pocket.
Right? You'll be like, I'm a doctor, but I also do this. Pow.
Yeah. Bam. Bam.
Yes. I love it. 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 And so Dr. Lucy has something in common with Dr. Natalie, as in they are both in the world of medicine. And Dr. Nat, you are a veteran in the Boisset business. I mean, fairly, 4 years, right?
Yeah, almost 4 years. Almost 4 years. And I'm so glad I took the leap of faith to become an ambassador, because I have discovered many things about myself and about things that excite me through this whole business of wine. I learned very early on as I was going about my ambassadorship that I love to teach. And, I want to be, I've self-designated myself the wine sensei.
I love that.
I love teaching about wine. I love demystifying wine, because people think of it as kind of this snooty, avant-garde, inaccessible thing. And it's like, no, wine.
They get intimidated.
Art. You like what you like. Now, where we get into the challenges is we don't always know how to articulate that, but I'm not going to go into all those details. And like Lucy, yes, I am a physician. So I love being able to take off my doctor hat I put out my wine hat, and people find that fascinating. Oh my God, how do you by day and wine by night? But underneath it all, it's all based in science. So I get my geek.
Right, the geek on. Get the geek on, doctor.
I think people must feel like a doctor. You just think, how could you have time for anything else? I think it's amazing. Right. Like I would have never, like, oh my God, you're a doctor. You must be swamped all the time.
But what I have learned is that you make time for the things that excite you.
That's right.
When people say to me that they're too busy to learn other things, I just say to myself that whatever it is doesn't excite them.
Right.
If it excites you and it interests you, you find ways of weaving it in to your life.
You will always make
I cannot say enough about the community of people that I have met through this.
Yeah.
When I look at all of you, there's only one of you that I knew before I became a Boisset Ambassador.
Let her hand up.
So many people. I've met so many people through this endeavor, and it has enriched my life immensely, and I am so grateful for that.
Oh, cheers.
I have to say, you know, a lot of the things that you were talking about, Dr. Nat, resonated with me because I'll never forget the first time that I hosted a wine tasting, and it was I've been in the beauty industry for over 20 years. Michonne and I have known each other for well over 20 years. And when she started her wine business,
you're only 22.
Right. I was negative age when we met. Negative age. Yeah, and so I'll never forget that first wine tasting we had in the salon. Michonne.
Yes.
I remember we were going around, we were pouring, and you know, I've been a professional drinker for a long time with wine and champagne. I like most people started with $2 check and was like, wow, I really like this stuff. And then just kept like getting into wine. And then Michonne's like, I have a wine business. Can I do a tasting at your salon or at your home? I was like, yeah. And I'll never forget when we did the tasting, I was like, smells like red wine. Smells like white wine. Smells like red wine. Smells like white wine.
You nailed it.
That was the longest running joke with one of my cousins was like, anytime we were pouring glasses, we go, smells like white wine. And it's just funny because then you learn how to smell, how to taste, how to experience. And there's just so much to learn for anyone who's passionate about wine in any industry that they're in prior. And if they want to get into this as a professional, like there's an opportunity for anybody who's passionate about wine, whether they're a sommelier, a doctor, a beauty expert, you know, makeup artist, whether they work in the industry, but in other areas. Yeah, that's what's really exciting is that if you have a passion for wine, then there's a place for you in this business. And so, Michonne, I mean, you are.
Thank you, Nina. No, I just want to say this is so fun. And this is the first time I've gone live on Facebook, but I'm in Los Angeles and I have been with Boisset for almost 9 years, which I can't believe it's been that long. It's like, you know, I look around, I'm like, what just happened? Because
well, you're a founding ambassador and I'm a founding client.
Yes, you are.
You're an ambassador.
Nina was one of my first clients.
I like
sure. Yes.
I like that.
Founding client that got turned. Exactly. You should do this. You should do this business. And so, yeah. So, and actually, this is the longest business I have had. It's my first, kind of like business on my own. The longest in terms of something I had concentrated on and built and enjoyed. And one of the reasons is because it's so different all the time. You can focus on different aspects of the business. There's so much more to learn about wine, about people, about leadership, about your own growth and development, and just fun marketing things. And it's one of the reasons why I got in this business is I was, wanting to be my own boss, that whole thing. Be my own boss. I wanted to like call my own directions, create my own brand, and like have this whole creative expression of myself in what I love to do, which was enjoying wine. But I thought that you could drink wine for a living. I was like, what? So that's really what inspired me to get involved. But now we're like over 600 ambassadors strong in our organization, and we're doing this just to be social, because we hang out like this all the time. This is, like Tora said, this is our regular Thursday. And now we have a group called Into the Wine World for other, people who are wine lovers, or somms, or people who grew up drinking wine, or people who just, decided, oh my God, I'm kind of interested in this world. What can I do? So we do have a private group that anyone can join and find out more about, being in the wine industry, what it looks like to be a wine ambassador. We have trivia, we have tips, we have wine insights, and we have fun. So that's what we got going on.
So count on me for the wine memes. I'm like the wine memes.
Oh, yeah. You have the best wine memes.
Some great ones. Hilarious.
I love it.
Your footsteps.
I love it. I love it. So cheers and chat. I mean, we typically do this every week. It's a happy hour for ambassadors and friends of ambassadors or business prospects. If you're curious about the wine world and the wine industry and what exactly we do, well, this is exactly what we do. Pretty much it. Like, this is like the heart and soul of what we do. Obviously, there's more, but this is really the heart and soul of what we do. And that's why it's so important to share this. I'm so happy we went live. There's a few groups that are associated with this crew, and the Enter the Wine World is it's a career group where you're interested in the wine world and the business, and you're not quite gonna diving in, but you just want to know a little bit about we also have a Sisters with Vino, SWV, Sisters with Vino, which is really fun, and that's all about like wine silliness. And that's also really cool too. And if you're already an ambassador, we have our BLING team, which if you're on this Zoom or you're joining us, you are probably connected to that. So if you're a new ambassador, you can join us there. And then we have a larger Boisset ambassador group as well too. So there's all kinds of different experiences. And we do this typically every week, sometimes every other week. It's a happy hour. It's flexible. We get together, we hang, we cheers, and we chat. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for those who tuned in on Facebook. Thank you to my Sisters with Vino and my Enter the Wine World wine group. So on the count of three, we're going to say JCB. Okay, so okay. 1, 2, 3.
JCB.
And I'm taking a bunch. Strike a pose. Strike a pose. Strike a pose. Strike a pose. Strike a pose.
I love it.